Okay, in this video today, I'm going to share with you all of the second quarter 2024 Amazon FBA changes. So if you are a brand that is selling on Amazon, these are the fee updates you need to be aware of. And I'm also going to have a lot of links in the description below, so make sure to click down there. Stay tuned till the end because I'm going to walk through all the different fee changes and what you can be doing to make sure that your business stays profitable this year on Amazon. Okay, so in today's video, I am going to share with you the 4 changes with FBA fees that you need to be aware of if you're selling on Amazon that are happening starting April 1st for the next quarter. So if you haven't already, I do have a previous video where I covered everything with the first quarter 2024 Amazon FBA fee changes. Make sure to watch that video here if you're not aware of this. Hopefully you know and are aware of the changes, because these small updates with changes can have bigger impacts on your bottom line, especially as you do more search volume on Amazon. And I just want you to be aware of those things. And that's why I'm going to just jump into the good stuff and share with you all the changes that are happening the next 3 months so that you can be aware of these and you can modify or just at least know what you need to be doing with your business. The first change is there is going to now be a low inventory level fee. So there is actually now going to be a fee, and this is one of the ones that's going to roll out on April 1st, 2024, and it's actually only going to apply for products that are standard size and if you actually have an insufficient amount of inventory at Amazon's warehouse. So if you're using FBA, and I hope you are, if you want to learn more about the differences between FBA and FBM, watch this video here. But essentially, if you're using FBA, they want to make sure you have enough inventory at their warehouse, and now there are actually going to be fees for not carrying enough. And this is huge. We already know just from the data that we see that anytime you run out of stock for your FBA offer, that your sales do decline, and it's hard to sometimes get back organic ranking for what you've really built up, sometimes for months or longer. So this is something that they're doing just to give, really think about it, Amazon always wants to give the customers the best experience possible, and they don't want you constantly running out of inventory. So there are going to be fees around that. So the fee though is only going to be triggered if there are less than 28 days of inventory. Now, if you are really accelerating things because you're running ads, you probably will want to stay on the safer side and really kind of have at least 45 days of inventory to give you some buffer, because if you're selling more every day, then that 28 days of inventory is actually going to keep getting shorter. So you'll probably want to have at least 45 days, if not more. If you want to learn more about inventory management, I do have another video here on that, and there's just so much more that can be said about that, but the fee will only kick in when you have less than 28 days of inventory. However, the good news is that this low level inventory fee is not going to get charged to your account if you run out of stock. So don't think that I can never sell FBA again for this product because for whatever reason. Just know that if you do have to run low and out, that they won't charge you when you do run out. They will charge you though when you have less than 28 days of supply at Amazon's warehouse. Now, there are a few exceptions to this rule. So if you have a new to FBA product, then for the first 180 days, so 6 months, you're going to be exempt from this. And that's from the time that your inventory is actually received by Amazon. Also, for the first year, if you've never sold on Amazon and you finally have set up your professional seller account, you are not going to get charged this fee for the first year, which is great. And if you're using the AWD system, which is Amazon Warehouse and Distribution, that's for other channels, then you're not going to get charged the fee when you're using it for that purpose. So those are the exemptions. So that is good that those things are in place if they're applicable to your brand and your products. Okay, update number 2. We've got an update to the monthly storage fee. Now, this is another one starting April 1st, off-peak monthly storage fee, which is January to September. Remember, the peak storage fee is always October through December. That's Q4. That's the busiest time on Amazon. Your fees are actually going to change. Now, I love getting to share this with you. The fee on this particular one is actually going to decrease by 9 cents per cubic foot for your standard size items. So this is one of those fee updates that's actually not a negative thing and will actually help your numbers very, very slightly, but every little bit helps. So for those months that are non-peak, you can now have actually a little bit lower of monthly Amazon's inventory storage fees. Do keep in mind, if you have though any large or bulky items, those are like the ones when you look into Amazon's calculations of your product size. If you have those in the larger size, your fees for that are not going to change. It's only for the standard size that you do get that nice little reduction in your FBA fees. And if you want to learn more about which fees and look for it yourself, I am going to have everything linked in the description box below. That'll take you right to the Seller Central page that you can have when you're logged into your account, and you can read all these fee updates for yourself as well. So the next change is there are going to be updates to the storage utilization surcharge. This is another one of those fees. It is going to go into place April 1st, 2024, and there's going to be actually more granular tiers to your storage utilization surcharge, and they're going to start applying the fee for any professional sellers that's using storage ratio above 22 weeks. So Amazon is going to exclude inventory that's from 0 to 30 days from that surcharge, and that will actually first get reflected in your account starting in May of 2024, and it's going to look back at April 1st through the end of April, and then you'll get charged the first time in May. So this is something to be aware of, that you're going to be charged for how much you're using. Now, starting June 1st, products that are automatically replenished using Amazon's warehouse and distribution, you're eligible for a storage utilization surcharge, like a waiver. So you can have those charges waived if you're using Amazon FBA, their warehouses basically, to fulfill on other channels. So think of your Shopify website, other places that you might be using Amazon's shipping, then you might be able to request that fee getting waived. And for that one, that is going to start June 1st. So same thing, in July, they're going to look back for the whole month of June at your charges, and then that's when you're going to see that first charge there. And like I said, if you're using AWD, you want to know that you can get some of those fees waived, and that's going to be helpful for you to proactively take an approach, because if you don't, then you may miss out on extra money that Amazon may owe you. Okay, let's go now into the last one. So number 4, you're going to actually see a reduction to FBA fulfillment fee rates. So effective April 15th, 2024, FBA fulfillment fees are going to change due to updates in product tiers. And I kind of alluded to this in the first quarter video when I talked about FBA fee changes there, because they essentially, one of the updates in that video, if you watch it, is they started looking at different sizes. So previous sizes that were used are now different sizes. So it's good to know that when you're thinking about packaging your product, or maybe even making your packaging more efficient, that the sizes and the tiers for the product sizes, that what used to be one thing are now a different thing. That's just something to keep in mind. So this is kind of related a little bit to that. This is going to also impact if you have like apparel or dangerous goods. So if you're in Amazon's FBA Hazmat program, which usually has a wait list if you didn't get grandfathered into that. So that's something that you're actually going to get a reduction in your FBA fulfillment fees. It's going to ultimately lead to a decrease of 20 cents per unit for standard sized products, and a 61 cent per unit for large, bulky sized products on average. So you're going to be able to, you can always see your fee preview inside your Seller Central when you look at manage inventory. So you'll have to look for your own products on a product by product basis, not just as one whole, because your products are typically going to be different sizes, and you'll be able to there see the differences, and hopefully you have a nice reduction that is around those estimated reduction rates. If you have a product that is under $10, which is very, very challenging, to be quite honest, selling on Amazon, you're going to still get an extra 77-cent discount, and that's through what Amazon is now calling like the low price program. They used to call it like the small and light program. It's always kind of changing, but the whole point is if you're selling something under $10, and it has to be like a certain weight requirement and size requirement, but if you fit all those, you get a little bit more of a reduction in fee for that one as well. But for most people, like most of you that are watching this, if I was talking to you and we were looking at your products, most likely you're gonna fall in that standard size tier, and that's kind of looking at that 21-cent reduction in FBA fulfillment fees. So the really cool thing is most of these fee updates that I'm sharing, I feel like I'm not as much the bearer of kind of any bad news, because a lot of these fees will actually be helpful for you. Now, the one that I think is going to be the trickiest for people is that whole, if you drop 28 days or less of inventory, that's going to be really hard to navigate. And that's something that you never had to worry about before when you started running low. And so that's something that you're going to have to keep in mind. You really want to make sure you're keeping your inventory levels right on point. You know, at least, like I said, I would recommend 45 days or more, because if you get closer to 30 or the 28 days, you're really going to risk the chances of starting to get charged that fee, plus the disadvantage of potentially running out. Like I said, you won't get charged if you do run out of stock, but all the days before that you would, and that can really add up. So I hope that this is helpful, and you might find this next video here helpful as well on learning how to build a winning Amazon product listing, because everything I was mentioning about that organic ranking when you're staying in stock, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see happen so that your Amazon listings are working for you instead of having your ads for Amazon do all the heavy lifting.